to us a bit about the work that she does. So, yay to us. So we have an incredible opportunity to be able to speak to her this beautiful sunshine morning. Peggy Grininga,
Hello,
how are you this morning? Are you well this morning? Are you good this
I
morning?
am absolutely fine. I'm absolutely great. Thank you so much for having me. It's
Excellent.
wonderful.
Thank you so much for being available to have a conversation with us. We would love, Peggy, for you to take us back as to what inspired you to bridge underrepresented African voices with a global capital.
Okay, so for me, I've been working in Europe for the last 40 years, and my work always took me to Africa, and I always saw the difference. The difference is so big, but the opportunity is just as big in Africa. And I always felt like, the people just need a chance because it's possible. It's possible, but the differences are so big that someone has to bridge the two, and I started to do that.
Absolutely fantastic, and definitely a bridge that needed, that was absolutely needed. So, how does your intercultural strategy model build donor confidence in African ventures?
Okay, so for donors, people think it's because they don't want to give money. The problem they have is lack of trust and also experience. They've seen before how they gave money and nothing happened. And the confidence comes from, planning. How do you plan in such a way that you have trust, that people believe that you're going to do that? Because quite often people say they're going to do this and they do something else. So the trust is something that you have to bring, you have to do long term. That my work, I would come to Africa, I'll visit the site, talk to the people, put a strategy in place, and create something that both sides have to follow. And I think that's one of the most important things to make sure we're talking about the same thing.
What is, or I would say maybe, yes, a key lesson, but also some lessons that you've learned from your 30 plus years on scalable funding for women entrepreneurs in Africa?
Women entrepreneurs in Africa, there is something that I'm going to just say it here. Um, it's very important for women to know what's happening.
Mm.
You know, quite often people get money, but it's not a lot of money. So success is definitely not going to come,
Mm.
which means that, they don't get training, they don't get sponsors, they don't get support. They get $20,000,
Mm.
and what can you do with it?
Mm.
So for me, what I'm trying to do now is to make sure that people have the necessary support
Mm.
to be able to succeed. Because if you're sitting in a village and someone gives you money, it's very exciting. But what are you going to do with the money? Without
Mm.
education, without mentorship, without an infrastructure that makes you succeed. That's for me the biggest failure of African women getting money from abroad, but also because the Western cultures have a way of giving you money and blowing their trumpet, and everybody knows. So if you're an African woman in a family and you have $20,000, you can guess what happens.
Everyone's going to want some money.
Exactly. Everybody's going to want something. So discretion is very important. And that's
Mm.
something that I've been working with organizations to say, hey, 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 don't talk about money. Don't go and show off and say we gave so and so $20,000. You
Mm.
have to be discreet. You have to be discreet. And also, something else that the women need to do that they don't realize, negotiate. Negotiate. If someone says 20,000, you can say, I need 100,000,
Mm.
you know? Or you can say, I need 50. And then you have to say what you need, because 10,000, you don't get far.
Mm.
And the excitement that you have money, it doesn't mean the money is enough.
Mm. It's very powerful. Yeah. How can we create stronger women leadership pipelines across the continent?
I think there are women in the pipeline. There are
Mm.
women. It's
Mm.
just the structures, the systems, the traditional systems. And
Mm.
also, The Western, I don't know, Western civilization, if you like, they choose and divide. They sort of like all women, all men. And that is something that is not good for anyone. And you have a lot of women in the pipeline. That's not the problem. The women in the pipeline just need to know that there are ways to move forward. They need mentors, they need allies, they need sponsors. You cannot be successful today alone. So if you are in a pipeline, you have to know where you're going in your pipeline. And quite often people have no strategy for their lives. People just take a job and they love it and they go there and they don't think, what do I want to be in 5 years? What do I want to be in 10 years? And I'm not talking about the career, I'm talking about your life. That you say 10 years from now, maybe I'm going to be married, I have 2 kids, but you have to think for yourself long term.
It's powerful. Think long term, do some introspection about your life, because all these things are connected. Now, your message to the African woman that is in business, whether it is, they just recently started or they've been in business for quite some time. What is your message just to encourage women of Africa to continue with their business ventures?
I think they need resilience. They need really resilience, and they can do it. But it's a slow, fast move. You cannot rush in there, because then you rush and you rush out. And I think women have, we're very strong African women. We can do a lot. But it takes planning. It takes really serious planning to say, listen, I want to make it. I want to do this. I want to do that. And and they can do it. Women in the pipeline, they can do it. They can do it. They can do it. It's just not the attitude, it's the planning.
So it's about planning, being prepared, and having a proper strategy that can work. Now,
Yes.
What is your advice in terms of preparedness? What can I begin to do now so that when I have a conversation with Peggy, my ducks are in a row as an entrepreneur?
Okay, so preparedness means that when you're going to talk to me, you come prepared. You don't just come because I said you can come. You really come prepared. People come unprepared. They call it they're prepared, but they mean the way they're dressed. It means that you need to be prepared with all your papers, with all your strategies. So the people you're talking to, they realize you didn't just fall off a tree. You came prepared. So that you have your things, you're asking the right questions, you're relating in the right way, and all that, because then people see that this is a serious person.
Yeah, sure. So there's definitely hope out there for the African woman that's listening right now.
Yes,
There is always hope. So Peggy, I'd love for you to share your contact details. How can they get a hold of you at Diversity Campus and begin, this journey with you?
Okay, thank you so much. At Diversity Campus, it's www.peggygruninger.com. You can find me on Instagram, but also on LinkedIn. And if you look at, I have blogs, and my blogs are really about Black women. Like, for instance, one of the blogs that I have out there is called Reflections. And the reflection is about how you take a job. Quite often people are grateful. They get a job and they go to work. They don't ask, what do I bring to the table? And how do I position myself that I'm not here to be funny? I'm not here for a job. I want to grow. And quite often people don't dare to ask. To say, when you come in from day one, say, I want to grow. So for me, if you don't say anything, you get nothing. But there are opportunities. Pardon?
I'm saying no one will ever know if you don't say.
Exactly. And if you don't say, people just think, she doesn't want anything.
She's satisfied.
It's very important to Yeah, it's very important to say what you want, say what you need. And that's what I did. For me, I've been working in Europe in so many companies. And I learned. I had to learn to talk about myself, to talk about my dreams, talk about my hopes, and fight for it. Because competition is fierce. You cannot just come in. Competition is very hard. And if you come prepared, then you can make it. Then you can make it. And that's what I did. I mean, I worked for Novartis, for Roche, for Ziba-Geigy, for many organizations I've worked with success. For someone like me who comes from Guyana, I don't even know if you know that, some village somehow in the north to South Africa. Today, I live in Europe. I've been successful, but it comes from a lot of work.
Yeah. There you have it, Women of Africa. It comes with a lot of work. We've been having a conversation with Peggy Ubungqina. Get through to her on her at her organization, Diversity Campus, and be able to connect with her. Draft that email, send it through, whatever you need. I think this will really help, because definitely you are bridging that gap from entrepreneur to donor. And there's definitely help out there. I think more than anything, this conversation lets us see that there is help there for entrepreneurs. You are not alone. There are people that can hold your hand, mentor you, be your allies, as Peggy spoke about. Peggy, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to connecting once again, perhaps maybe sometime soon, just to find out what's been happening and how have you been scaling. So thank you so much, and blessings for the rest of the day.
Thanks. Thanks as well. You have a good day too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.